Should we? Hatzlacha, Shabbat Shalom. What's the chord? No. So, Adam, is there visual to feel it?
No. Just have that. I have
I just
that.
don't see the page numbers, which I don't.
On the far left?
Ah, got it. Sorry. It means right in front of my eyes?
It could be that.
Okay.
It could be that.
We'll start with Nigun.
Sure. I'm not plugged in yet. Nope. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I'm going to need your help with this one. The words are easy. It's just yum diddy dum. Yum diddy dum, 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 yum diddy dum. Keep that going, Shy. Yum diddy dum, 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 ya la la, ya la la, ya la la, ya la 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 la. Ya la la, ya la la, ya la la, ya la 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 la. Keep going with the yum diddy dums. Yum diddy dum, 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 yum diddy. Keep going. Ya la la, ya la la, ya la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la, ya la la, ya la la, ya la 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 la.
Shabbat Shalom all. It's good to be back. It's good to have power. You know, I have this something of a custom of trying to bring a little humor, levity, lightness to this opening moment. So I want to just share a couple very, very light or not, or deep thoughts. I pray, we must all have power now. So I think it's safe to offer these little ditties. A sweater I bought was picking up static electricity. So I returned it to the store. They gave me another one free of charge. I caught my friend harassing some electricity. I told him it was an abuse of power. What kind of car does an electrician drive? A Volkswagen. A wind turbine saw a solar panel at an energy convention. He leaned in and shouted, "Hey, I'm a big fan." Lastly, what's an electrician's favorite flavor of ice cream? Chocolat. Ba-dum-bum. So, you know, the lights of the Shabbat candles are meant to bring levity and light and a sense of gratitude. Laughing a little bit can help in all of those ways. We're going to begin by lighting candles. And I want to ask Julia Prager Hessel and Judge Erica Prager in two different places. Julia, I believe, in New Orleans, and Erica, Judge Prager, here in Great Neck. And so you guys are celebrating birthdays. I assume, Jeff, you're around as well. Jackie, you can find, there's Erica, great. Is that your husband's hat I'm looking at?
Yes, it is.
There it
Thank
is.
you, Rabbi. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom to you, dear Erica. And I saw Julia a minute ago on a different screen. Can we find her?
Julia, where are you?
I saw.
I'm here.
There you are.
I,
Yay,
my
Julia. Awesome. So the blessing for lighting Shabbat candles for all of us who are lighting, as we've said before, exactly, blow your daughter some kisses. As we said before, the more candles we can have lit up on our screen, there's something very sweet about that. We're all bringing light to each other. And so the blessing, if you're following along or want to see doors, page 2, and Erica and Julia, take it away.
Mama.
Ready? Baruch.
Yeah.
Atah. Adonai. Elohim.
Yeah.
Eloheinu.
Melech haolam.
Asher.
Asher Kitshanu.
B'mitzvotav. V'tivanu. Lahadlik ner. Shel
Shabbat.
Amen to all of you. Beautiful. It's so great to see daughter and mom and dad lighting Shabbat candles together. Awesome. So we will turn now to page 12 to begin our Kabbalat Shabbat service. Lechu Neranana, page 12.
Lecho neranena l'Adonai, nariya letzor yisheno. Page 13.
13.
שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסרו מיום ליום ישועתו, ספרו בגויים כבודו, בכל העמים נפלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני ומחולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. איי 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 ילאי ללאי לאי ילאי ללאי לאי ילאי ללאי לאי ילאי ללאי ילאי ללאי לאי Yai la 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 Hod v'hadar lefanaz Oz v'tiferet mikdasho Yai la 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 Yai la 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 Yai la 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 Yai la 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 Ismechu hashamayim Ismechu hashamayim Ismechu hashamayim V'tagel haaretz Iram hayam Iram hayam Iram hayam umlo Iram hayam Iram hayam Iram hayam umlo Ya'alo sadai v'chol asher bo אז ירננו כל הצייר, לפני אדוני קיווה לשפוט הארץ, ישפוט תבל בצדק, וימים באמונתו. At the bottom, remember that nigun that we did? Or saru la tzadik, o yishrei lev simcha.
14.
Or saru la tzadik, o yishrei lev simcha. Or saru la tzadik, o yishrei lev simcha. Ya la la, ya la la, ya la la, ya la 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 la. Bum bidi bum bidi bum bidi bum bidi bum bidi bum bidi bum. לך דודי.
Page 20, Lecha Dodi.
לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Verse 1, שמור וזכור בדיבורך השמיענו, אל המיוחד אדוני אחד, הוא שמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Verse 2, לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה. סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, כי באורך ומיורי. אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לי 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 Lai 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 ya la 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 la. Let us all rise to greet the Sabbath bride. Boi v'shalom ateret bahala gam besimcha uvetzola toch emunei aham segula. Boi chala, boi chala, lecha dodi likrat kahala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kahala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kahala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
Beautiful. I just want to highlight something for you all that you might not have gotten, but Cantor Adam, as we sang paragraph, verse 5 of L'Chadodi, at the words hit orari, which mean wake up, wake up. He sang with this incredible intensity, and I could feel it in the moment that the music was so connected to the message of this verse. Wake up, wake up. Please raise ourselves up, each and every one of us individually, because the dignity, the honor, the beauty, the glory of the creator of the universe, it's on us. It's on us. It's all part of us. It's inside of us. It's all around us. There's so many reasons to feel weighted down, to feel like we don't have the ability, we don't have the answer, we don't have the idea, we don't have that spark. This L'Chadodi, and certainly as Cantor Adam offered it, such a beautiful invitation to hear the whisper of the spark, see the little light of the spark. Beautiful.
Uri.
Exactly, Uri, exactly. Okay, we will turn to page 22 and offer Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat, the psalm specifically for Shabbat, on page 22, Psalm 92.
Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat, Tov lehodot l'Adonai, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות, עלי עשור ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון בכינור. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. כי שמחתני אדוני בפעלך, במעשה ידיך ארנן, מה גדלו מעשיך אדוני, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. שלום עליכם מלאכי השרת, מלאכי עליון, מי מלך מלאכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. בואכם לשלום מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון. מי מלך מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ברכוני לשלום מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון. מי מלך מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. צאתכם לשלום מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון. מי מלך מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. Page 26, יתגדל ויקדש שמי רבה, ועלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומייכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה, יתברך, יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילה, מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמא ואמרו אמן.
Rise for the Baruch Hu on page 28.
Ya la 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 la, 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 la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Are you listening to my prayer? Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Vaed. לעולם ועד. יאללה לילה אליי, 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 יאללה לילה אליי.
Turn to page 30, bottom of the page. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons. It arranges the stars in their heavenly course, according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening.
Baruch atah Adonai Hamariv Aravim.
Page 32.
Ahavat olam beit Yisrael Amcha ahavta Torah u'mitzvot chokim u'mishpatim Otanu limadeta Al kein Adonai Eloheinu B'shokbeinu u'v'kumeinu Nasiach bechukecha ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ויורך ימינו ויורך ימינו ובהם נהגה יומם ולילה, יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל Yisrael. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
You can be seated if you're standing. Via Haftar's page 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. Love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind. And these words which I command you on this day shall be in your heart, shall be in your heart. Teach them faithfully unto your children. Speak of them when you sit in your house and when you walk by the way, when you lie down and when you rise.
With that beautiful peace in our minds and our hearts, we turn to page 40 as we think of the love in our lives, the love in our hearts, the love that we aspire to generate into the world as a vehicle, as an engine, a source of strength and power that can bring freedom, can bring hope, can bring justice. Micha mocha.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osefele. Let's repeat that. Nora tehilot osefele. Who is like you? Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, Adonai? When Moses and the children crossed the sea, they sang to you with songs of joy. Who is like you, Adonai? Malchutecha ra'u v'anecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam. Ze Eli anu ve'ameru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. V'nehemar kifada Adonai et Yaakov, ugoalo miyad chazak mimenu. Baruch atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael.
Hashkivenu, we turn to 42 as we feel grateful for and we sharpen our minds. Well, how do we find the calm, the sense of tranquility, the moments, the sparks of peace that help us rest, help renew us? Hashkivenu 42.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu ve'amidenu leShalom. Baruch atah Adonai Hapore sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim.
We turn to page 44 as we offer Vishamru, sanctifying this precious moment, this holy moment in our week. Vishamru 44.
Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et hashabat la'asot et hashabat לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל עוד היא לעולם, עוד היא לעולם, עוד היא לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Beautiful. My strong intuition is that whether you know Hebrew or not, after the third time that we've been raised to heaven with Cantor Adam singing Vishamru in this way, you're going to be able to have learned a whole bunch of Hebrew words from the beautiful rendering of Vishamru. Love it. Okay, we're going to turn now to our standing prayer. The Tefillah, the Amidah, page 46. If you'd like to rise, feel free to do so.
Adonai sefatai titach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל. You sustain life through love, giving life to all through great compassion, supporting the fallen and healing the sick, freeing the captive, keeping faith with those who sleep in the dust. Micha mocha bal gevurot umido melach, melech memit umechayeh umatzmiach Yeshua. ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. Blessed are you, Adonai, who gives life to all. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
We take a few moments for our own personal prayer. We'll come back together with Shalom Rav.
If you finished your private meditations, please turn with me to page 60. Feel free to continue otherwise at your own pace. Many of us were greeted this week with the exciting and hopeful news of a new and exciting chapter of peace for the state of Israel with the United Arab Emirates. And so we have all the more reason to pray for continued and strengthened peace. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. 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 Ki atahu melech hadon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech hadon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Hasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Hasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Baruch atah Adonai, hamavarech et amo Yisrael, bashalom.
And with that prayer for peace, we turn to our loved ones. Misha Berach, share the names of a loved one you're thinking about, a need of healing of body, a healing of spirit. I'm going to write my mom's name. Feel free to share your names as we write and share with the world a name. A light lights up. So it's a powerful, beautiful thing for all of us to hold as much light as we possibly can. Misha Berach, page 253.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Amen, amen. Thank you so much, dear Cantor Adam and Shai. Beautiful. Re'eh, Re'eh. Anochi noten lifnechem hayom bracha uklala. Re'eh. See it, hold it with your eyes, fix your gaze on it. For today I set before you blessing and curse. This is how our Parsha Re'eh begins. See it, hold it with your minds, in your mind's eye, fix your gaze on it. To see or not to see, that's the question. To be or not to be, that's not so much the Jewish question, but rather to see or not to see. Or more precisely, how do we choose to see? What eyes do we wear? What kind of glasses help us get the right vision? God places before us blessing or curse. Actually, if this is reminding you of the Torah reading on Yom Kippur, It's a great association because this is the beginning of the speech that we read on Yom Kippur, the end of the speech, and at the beginning and end of the end, Moses says, I place before you blessing or curse. Moses shares God's words. There's so much placed before our eyes these days. As Cantor Adams said a few moments ago, yesterday, an historic agreement was announced between Israel and the United Arab Emirates. Time will tell, but the agreement is being compared to Israel's 1979 peace agreement with Egypt and 1994 agreement with Jordan. It seems that everyone who's looking sees the blessing of this agreement between Israel and the UAE. Well, sadly, not everyone. Palestinian leadership, Iran, Turkey, they don't see blessing. But I do, and we should. And already, Oman and Bahrain, two small but powerful Gulf countries, seem to see the blessing as well. Parsha Re'eh tells us, as I said, to see the blessing, to embrace and choose it. And the clause that immediately follows says, Et habracha, the blessing, asher tishma'u, the blessing, you will see the blessing if you tishma'u, shema, if you hear the mitzvah, the mitzvot of God. You can see Re'eh, but only if you hear tishma'u. Maybe we must listen in order to see. Interesting that our senses seem to depend upon each other. And our parsha takes us one step further beyond seeing and hearing. What about the sense of touch, the tangible, tactile acts of life? A little later in our parsha, we read a strange statement. Banim atem ladonai. You are children of God. Banim, like Ben or Bat. You're children of God. Lo tit go to do. Lamet. Lo tit go to do. You shall not gash yourselves. Lamet. Because of death. Don't gash yourselves because of death or because of a dead loved one or dead stranger. It may seem really weird, but it's actually not, because many ancient tribes and cultures, and I believe still a few today, have rituals of cutting and gashing or scraping off skin as a form of mourning or grief. I know, for the sight and the sound of a human being scraping off skin, it's so unpleasant and disturbing and demeaning. And Torah tells us here that banim atem ladonai, because we are children of God, our bodies are holy. Thus, we can't gash or cut our bodies in our despair or disregard for our bodies. And we know in America, 165,000 have died. In Israel, 90,000 have been infected, both massive numbers, and over 700,000, I believe, dead around the world. How do we respond? Our parsha commands us to see before us blessing and curse, to hear the mitzvah of blessing, of life. It's almost too trite to say what a challenge this is. Sometimes it feels like the only way to see and hear blessing is to close our eyes and ears. Here in the U.S., we're gearing up for a nasty, angry, ugly election. Many believe that Israel is on its way to a fourth election. Israel was effectively out of business for a year. 2 elections produced no government. The third, well, the jury is still out. And 3 years ago this week, we here in America witnessed a horrific event. Jews will not replace us. Jews will not replace us, chanted neo-Nazi marchers holding torches in Charlottesville. Where is blessing? How do we see? How do we hear blessing? What does it mean to us today to not gash our bodies? The Talmud in Masechet Yevamot has a really interesting answer. Reish Lakish says to Rabbi Yochanan, we must read this verse, lo tit go to do, to mean not you shall not cut yourselves, but rather do not become numerous factions. If you can hear the music, tit go to do is cut yourselves, agudot is factionalize. In the beautiful poetic ears of the Talmud, to hear a connection. Tit go to do, lo tit go to do. Do not cut yourselves, to lo ta'asu agudot. In other words, the Jewish people should be united rather than divided into disparate groups. Lo ta'asu agudot agudot, says the Talmud. This is a playful but intensely serious moment. The Hebrew root goded reminds that in the Talmud of the word agudah, group. Think Agudat Yisrael or Agudat Achim. When I was a boy, my father and grandmother were members of a synagogue, Agudas Achim. Others of my mother, actually, now they think Agudas Israel. Agudas Israel or Achim, it's the Hebrew word Agudah, Agudat. Names of synagogues or political parties. So we go from don't scrape off your skin due to your grief, your fear, your pain, to don't become numerous factions. But what's the connection? How's the Talmud go from each faction we create is a scraping off the skin of our people? It's kind of a leap, huge. I want to share a teaching by Rabbi Adin Steinsaltz. He says, Lo ta'asu agudot agudot, quoting the Talmud. Don't create groups and groups and groups. Two, we should read that as all Israel is to be like one unit, a single entity. That's why you shouldn't create groups and groups and groups. It's family. We don't agree, but we're one. Like I say to every couple, you don't agree, but you're one. Like every team, you don't agree, but you're one. We, as a people, are like a guf echad, one body. You're going to cut off a limb, an arm, a leg, a little flesh of your own body? You'd never do it. We'd never do it. So we go from the prohibition against scraping our personal body to the prohibition against mutilating our collective body. Extraordinary how relevant this is to America and to Israel today. I want to, in this next part of my talk, I want to share with you 3 vignettes, 3 little stories from 3 teachers. The first story I heard from Rabbi Jacobson about a young man who went to a wedding. He saw a somewhat familiar face, and he greeted this man. The young man says, "You remember me? You don't remember? I was your student in 3rd grade. It was a few years ago. How are you doing? It's so good to see you." Same to you. And the older man, the teacher, says, "Well, what are you doing these days?" And the younger man says, "Oh, I'm a teacher." And the older man, who was the teacher to this younger man, now a teacher, says, "Wow, what inspired you to become a teacher?" And the young man says, "You did." "How did I do that?" And the younger man says, "I saw the impact you had on me, and because of you, I thought I could have that impact on other kids." And he said, "What kind of an impact did I have on you?" And here is his answer. I'll remind you, but I'm sure you remember the story. There was a day a boy in our class came to school with a new watch, and I dreamt about a watch, and I just stole a watch from his coat pocket. The boy came back into class, found his watch gone. He went to you, the teacher, and then you made an announcement to our class. "Whoever has the watch, please return it." I was so scared, though. I didn't return it. And so you said to all of us, "Okay, I'm going to have to line everybody up and you'll empty your pockets." So you told us all, line up at the wall and everyone close your eyes. And as we went to the wall and we all closed our eyes, I thought to myself, this is going to be the most embarrassing, shameful moment of my short life. I was mortified, though. And you went from pocket to pocket. I could hear you moving closer and closer to me. My eyes were closed. And you stood behind each person. I remember the feeling when you put your hand on my shoulder. I was so scared and ashamed. And you found it, of course, in my pocket. It seemed to me, with my eyes closed, you finished walking the line, checking each of the boys, and you told us that when you were done, we could open our eyes. We opened our eyes. You walked to the boy whose watch I'd stolen. You gave him the watch. You never said a word to anyone, including me, who it was who'd taken it. You saved my dignity that day. I've looked back at this moment many times. It's because of you that I went into education. The teacher was very moved and humble. That's an amazing story. And the student says, you don't remember? You got to remember. I stole that watch. I felt your hand on my shoulder as you got to me. How couldn't you remember this? It was so dramatic. And the teacher says, well, I wouldn't know, because you remember the feeling when I put my hands on your shoulder? I did that to every student. And you remember that I told all of you to close your eyes? I closed my eyes as well. This story, it's about seeing. It's about what we choose to see and what we enable others to see or not see. And it's about how we help people see themselves. My second vignette, it's about Rabbi Adin Steinsaltz. He died last Friday. I had to find a moment to talk about him. Adin Steinsaltz was an extraordinary Jew. He was born in 1937. He studied mathematics, physics, chemistry at Hebrew University, all while studying for a rabbinic ordination. He was the author of 60 books, served as a scholar in residence at the Woodrow Wilson Center in D.C. and at Princeton and Brandeis and all these other famous, important institutions of learning. Only one person in Jewish history has translated the Talmud, which is written largely in Aramaic, into Hebrew. The person who did that, translated the Talmud from the Aramaic into Hebrew, was Rabbi Steinsaltz. To anyone who ever met him, Adin Steinsaltz was a sweet and generous man, full of joy and humor. His was a heart filled with love for God, for every Jew, and for every human being. Rabbi Steinsaltz, through his life, has so much to teach us about how to see ourselves, others, our Jewish tradition, and God. One final story. It just happened yesterday, but has now been seen on the web, I think 2 million times, very close. There was a woman named Tehillah Friedman. She's a member of the Knesset in Israel, a member of the blue and white party, Kachol Levan, but she's only been in the Knesset for 6 weeks. She took a seat just vacated by Chaver Knesset Michael Biton. And I'm going to quote from her speech, parts of her speech. My opening speech, she said, Tehillah Friedman, may very well be my closing speech. Over the past few weeks since I arrived in this house, the Knesset is referred to as a house, I haven't stopped thinking about Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, one of the most important Jews in history. At the last moment, he managed to rescue the Jewish people out of Jerusalem and its burning temple and into Yavne and its unifying academy to invent ourselves anew. In the 6 weeks I've been in this house, I've heard endless mockery and hatred toward entire groups in Israeli society. I've heard the hope that they disappear and we can rule without limits. A deadly plague runs wild outside and within. The same destructive desire to defeat one another. The same blindness and folly, the same malignant hate that makes us invest most of our energies on the internal fight. There are again those who want us to take hold of each other's vestments, to fight, to again tear at one another, to once again take every societal wound and scar and rub it until it bleeds again, to once again mock and ridicule the pain of others. If we keep trying to defeat each other, we will only defeat our children's future. It is our mutual solidarity that will be ruined, our inner resilience. We will ruin our ability to uphold this miracle called the State of Israel. I'm coming to the end. I'm a Jew, a religious woman, a religious Zionist, nationalist, feminist, Jerusalemite. I came here to be part of a leadership committed to sustaining the miracle called the State of Israel, to a leadership that does not seek to avenge wrongs, to take care of its own, or to be right, but to a leadership that wants to rehabilitate and heal. I wish to seal an alliance of moderates with those from all communities who understand this challenge of living together to create a shared center. In her final moments at the podium, Tehillah Friedman, with her voice choking up, she said this: "These are the days of the third temple. And just like the two that preceded it, it's fragile, it's flammable, it's not a given. Its stability is our responsibility. Its existence depends on us." Tehillah Friedman is trying to shape our vision to refine our sight. See, hold it with your eyes, fix your gaze on it, and also tishma'u, listen, with your ears and with your heart. I close where I started. Banim atem, you are the children of God. You may not gash your skin because of death. We, Americans and Israelis, have so much to mourn. We have so much grief and pain and fear and uncertainty and anger and resentment. Cutting ourselves was a well-known ancient practice, but it's not permitted to us. Cutting the flesh of our body and cutting out a constituency within our body politic, it's forbidden. For us, as Jews and Americans, we must learn this. We must know better. Remember Rabbi Steinsaltz. Don't make agudot and agudot. Groups and groups that vie and compete and undermine, diminish, demean, and defile each other. Don't create bitter, hateful factions, bitter enemies. Why? Because all of Israel, and I'll add, all of America, is meant to be like a single unit, always united, never divided. Ken Yehi Ratzon, it is definitely God's will. May it be our will as well. We rise for Aleinu on page 282.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
287.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
And we turn now, as always, to remember loved ones. Kaddish is on 294. I'll read the names who we have here. If at the same time you want to share a name of a loved one via Zoom, via the chat, feel free to do so. We remember those who passed this week: Gerald Eisenberg, Madeline Kern, Elena Ginsberg. They were laid to rest, and we remember as well Kenneth Lux, who will be laid to rest in the next 24, 48 hours. We remember those who are still in the period of Shloshim, 30 days. Susan Abrahams, Yariv Kafri, and Rose Grunther. And we remember those whose yortzeit falls this week or on this Shabbat: Ruth Cooper, Arnold Goldstein, Simon Grolnick, Edith Grossman, Murray London, Lisa Lott Monaster, Edith Petranker, Herbert Michael Plain, Saul Schneider, Herman Schechter, and Arthur Siegel. May all of their memories be for a blessing. And as I said, if you're wonderful, Romano Fornari, Bill Koppelman, Anthony Clemenza, beloved dad, Isaac Ehrlich, Jordana. Okay. May all their names be for a blessing. We stand on their shoulders and are forever grateful. So now, let's see, where are we here? A few announcements. First announcement is that Shabbat
Rabbi.
Shalom to everyone.
Rabbi, do you want to say Kaddish?
Oops. Yes. Forgive me. Yes.
We're on page 294.
294.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
Amen.
ועלמד יברח חירותי וימליך מלכותי. בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי לכל בית ישראל. בעגלה ובזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם עולמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא. ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו. לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, דושבחתה ונחמתה, תאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
Amen.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
Amen. Thank you, Cantor Adam. Forgive me for somehow trying to
Lost in our
multitask.
thoughts sometimes, right?
Yeah, too much multitasking here. Thank you. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, to all humanity. And let us say one last time, Amen. Okay, so a few announcements. We have done gone to a breakout room for quite a few weeks before right after Lachadodi, but we're trying to experiment and explore different possibilities. So after we close, there'll be an oneg, a virtual oneg, as we've done every week. This week again, hosted by Linda Diamond. But before the oneg, we're going to give an opportunity for a breakout room for those who want to have a little conversation. Maybe you would think about, when you have a hard time seeing clearly, hearing blessing. Like, what do you do? What helps you? What helps you to see and hear goodness in your life, to see and hear blessing? That could be a question for the breakout room. I want to encourage you as well. The speech by Tehillah Friedman is really extraordinary, and you can find it online. I'm sure it's in multiple places. I found it on the Times of Israel website. So she's a member of the Knesset. I'm sure you can find it. Okay. Tomorrow, Torah study 9:15. Shabbat service at Leiled at 10:30. Tomorrow night, Facebook Live, which is 8:30 p.m. Next Saturday night, by the way, we're going to have a Havdalah live in person on the Ruden Garden. It's going to be there will be not many people there, but Stu Botwinick and our staff are going to be organizing, figuring out who's going to be there. No, I said on the Ruden Garden. I actually think it's in the Feldman backyard.
I think it's in the Feldman backyard, yes.
Yes, I think, yeah.
But the important thing is don't just show up.
Yes, very important.
Sign up.
Don't show up, sign up. Well
sign
done.
up.
Yes. Wednesday, the next 2 Wednesdays, we have a wonderful experience, All That Jazz, with Sophia Watman. Sophia is a great trumpeter, and Sophia, you're going into 11th grade, I think it is. It's either 11th or 12th. And it's the first week I heard was fantastic. So look for that link as well. Sunday, August 23rd, author talk with Nicholas Blinko, writer of More Noble Than War, a soccer history of Israel, Palestine. And again, thank you to Jackie McCabe, who is our wonderful fill-in for Stu and Greg. Thank you to Cantor Adam and to wonderful Shai Kedmi. What other, thanks to the Margolofs for the challah, which I believe you have over there, Cantor Adam?
It is undercover.
And undercover, okay.
Presently.
All right, did I leave any announcements out?
One big one.
Yes.
Next week is Rosh Chodesh
Good point.
Elul.
Yes.
And Elul is the month leading up to the high holiday season. Elul is also an acronym for those who are in the know for Ani Lidodi Vidodi Li, and it's customary to blow the shofar every morning, every day, and we're going to be doing that. And so every day you can check into Facebook, our Facebook page, and you'll be seeing and hearing the shofar being blown in various places that may be familiar to you. So I encourage
A few that may not be familiar to you.
A few may be unfamiliar, yes. But so check in to see which ones you know and which ones you don't know. But check in to hear the shofar blast and to hear the sound that wakes us up for the renewal that is the coming year. And Gam Vagam, there's also, I think you forgot to mention, Morning Minyan will resume.
Yes, Minyan will resume on, I believe it's, a week from Monday.
It resumes when Rabbi Meir says it resumes.
I think the date is already set, but I think it's a week from Monday.
But shofar will be blown at the Minyan as well.
Exactly.
By Rabbi Meir. That location, I think you'll know.
That location, that's right. Probably be at 15 Florence Street. Maybe it'll be at the temple. We'll see. Okay. Kiddush, Judy and Elliot, you guys you celebrated a birthday, also like the Prager Hessels had some birthdays. Judy and Elliot, you can raise up your glass and lead us in Kiddush, which is on page 5. Yay, Judy and Elliot.
Thank you. All right. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam borei peri hakafen.
Amen.
Adonai Eloheinu melech olam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu b'shabbat kodesh b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu Zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom tehillah v'mikra'ei kodesh Techel etziat Mitzrayim Ki banu v'charta v'yatanu Ki dashta mikol ha'amim V'shabbat kodeshecha v'yava uvratzon hinhaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mikadesh hashabbat.
Amen. Beautifully done. And wish a happy birthday to dear Bill. To the Rosenzweigs, but also to dear Bill, Perez, and Gloria. You guys have only, been around a few years, so, may you live to be 120, and that's many decades more. Okay. Motzi, Lila, and Hannah Freeman. Yay. Motzi. Where are you, Lila and Hannah?
There they are.
Yay, the Freemans. There's Lila. Where's your sister? Yay, Hannah.
Yes.
Raise up your challah high. Wait, whoops. You got it? Raise it high.
Oop, careful with that part.
Go for it. Bless it.
Go ahead. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam
Amen. Now you have to eat some. You
eat some
can't
challah,
bless
though.
without
You can't
eating.
just walk away. You got to eat some now. Yeah, take a bite. There you go, big bite.
Awesome. Yay, Hannah and Lila. All right. Okay, Cantor Adam, we close with what?
We're to close with Adon Olam on page 321. Adon Olam, Hashem Alach, B'terem Kol, Yesir Nivra, Li'et Nasa, B'chefzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, V'yacharei Kiklot HaKol, Levado Yimloch Nora Adon Olam, V'hu Haya, V'hu Hove, V'hu Yiyeh B'tifara Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Hashem Alach, B'terem Kol, Yetzir Nivra, Li'et Nasa, B'chefzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, V'hu Echad, V'yen Sheni, Lehamshilo Leachbira Adon Olam, V'li Reishit, V'li Tachlit, V'lo Ha'oz V'hamisra Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Hashem Alach, B'terem Kol, Yetzir Nivra, Li'et Nasa, B'chefzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, V'hu Eli, V'chai Goali, V'tzur Chevli B'yetzara Adon Olam, V'hu Nisi, Umanos Li, Manat Kosi B'yom Mekla Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Hashem Alach, B'terem Kol, Yetzir Nivra, Li'et Nasa, B'chefzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, Beyado Akid Ruchi, Beit Dishan Be'aira Adon Olam, Ve'im Ruchi Geviati, Adonai li Velo Ira Adon Olam, Hashem Alach, B'terem Kol, Yetzir Nivra, Li'et Nasa, B'chefzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam.
Shabbat Shalom. Breakout rooms, virtual oneg. Everyone take care, be well, and hopefully see you soon.
Shabbat Shalom.
Great. I love the artistry you guys are putting into these. There's a life. You mean there's a life to the prayers, Cantor Davis?
Yeah, apparently.
Are you in?
No. But I'm. No, it's all shy. I'm trying to actually. I want to make sure that. No. Wanted to get. Where is?
It is all Adam. Wow, what happened to me? Oh my God, that was so bad.
Don't worry about it. You